This is Shred, and today I'm going to teach you how to make music theory And the best way to do that is to learn the circle of fifths. If I didn't know the circle of fifths, I'd make even more people's ears bleed than I already do. Now, the music in this video is a part of my Intro to Music Theory course on Patreon. I'll leave a link to that below, way below. It's for people who want to sell their soul to music. You should totally do it. Okay, let's get to the circle of fifths. So here it is, the infamous circle of fifths. And I'm telling you, I can't imagine trying to make sense of music without this thing. Here's how it works. At 12 o'clock, we've got C. Now, the key of C has no sharps or flats, and we'll talk about that more later. But what I want you to get familiar with is just the general outline of how this thing works. So from C, we go clockwise to G, and that's 5 notes in the musical alphabet, right? C, D, E, F, and G. Boom, I can count. So every key repeats that pattern. It's a fifth apart. So if we start on G and you go to D, guess what? That's another 5. G, A, B, C, D. That's why it's called the circle of fifths. The other direction around the circle, or counterclockwise, moves in not fifths, but fourths. So the distance between C and the next key here, F, is 4. C, D, E, F. F stands for fudge. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? So that's the general principle. I don't want to get into too much detail. The inner circle here, these are all the relative minor keys. So for each major key, you have a minor key that shares the same notes. Now let's get into a little bit more detail. So first up, we have the key of C. Here's how it sounds, and I'll also include a song that's in the same key. So in the key of C, there's no sharps or flats. You don't see a key signature here. Like down here, you see the F sharp. In C, there is no sharps or flats. Amazing. And here's the notes. I'm going to tab these out. Whoops, let's change those to eighth notes so that you can follow along. Yes, that's okay. We'll go over these notes in a second. And then we got... Here we go. Okay, so the notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So if you're listening to a song and it's got those notes in it, boom, you know you're in the key of C. Now the way the relative minors work is you just start on the 6th degree and play the same notes. It's not that difficult, really. So here we're starting on A and then just play through the same notes. A, B, C, start back over here. D, E, F, G, back to A. Okay, let's move on to G, which is the next key clockwise. Now in the key of G, we actually get our first sharp, which is F sharp. And you can see that's on the F sharp line of the staff there. By the way, if you don't know how to read music, my theory course also teaches you that. Or you could just get some Viking horns, which will instantly channel the theory knowledge into your brain. All right, in the key of G, we've got G, A, B, and then C, D, E, and then F sharp and G. So there's the key of G. And this is like every guitarist's favorite key, well, at least every rock and metal guitarist's favorite key. Relative minor is E minor, so you start on E and play the same notes, and you get the relative minor, piece of cake. Moving on, the key of D is next. Now in D, we have 2 sharps this time. And the sharps are also a fifth apart, just like the keys, right? So if this is F sharp, C sharp, because F, G, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the notes in the key of D. You got D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, and then we got C sharp and back to D. D stands for damn, I love this key. Now D is definitely one of my favorite keys. It's the same key as Comfortably Numb. There's actually a lot of great songs in this key. The relative minor is B minor. And start on B, play the same notes, you get B minor. B minor, BM, bowel movement. Maybe that's what it really stands for. I gotta get some better jokes going here. Okay, next we're going to 3 sharps, which is the key of A or F sharp minor. We got F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. All those are a fifth apart, right? Now, the key of A has the notes A, B, C sharp. You got D, E, F sharp, and then you have G sharp, and back to A. Relative minor is F sharp, starts right there. This is also a very common key in metal music and rock. Immigrant Song is in F sharp by Led Zeppelin. Foxy Lady by Jimi Hendrix. Of course, we all know what F stands for. Fudge. Proceeding clockwise around the circle, we have arrived at the key of E. E is a great key for the guitar. So we've got F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. It's getting a little scary now because we got some sharps going on here. The notes are E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and then we got D sharp and back to E. Relative minor in this key is C sharp minor. Very cool key. Let's see, Black Sabbath, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath is in this key. The key of B is next. Of course, B stands for Make Music Theory Your Bitch. Now, B is a great key, one of my favorites, used a lot in progressive metal. We got F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, and A sharp. And the notes in the key of B are B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and then we have A sharp back to B. Relative minor here is G sharp. This key is not very common in just regular rock music, but it should be. It works really well. Rush uses this key a lot, and so does Dream Theater, like the Count of Tuscany, for example. Okay, now here's where things start to get a little bit gnarly. 6 sharps is F sharp. And I don't spend a lot of time in this key. This is very uncomfortable to play in because now we don't have any open strings to fall back on. The sharps are F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, and E sharp. Now that's some weirdness because E and F are only a half step apart. So E sharp is really the same thing as F sharp. Let's see if we can figure out the notes on this one. You got F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, and then B, C sharp, D sharp. There's that weird E sharp, and then we're back to F sharp. Relative minor here is D sharp. Nobody who plays guitar really messes with this key unless they're tuned down a half step. If you hear a song that's in this key, it's almost assuredly because it's tuned down a half step. Like I said, it just is not comfortable to play on the guitar because there's no open strings that you can use. Except for the B string, I guess, but that's just not that usable. So F sharp, boo, down with the F sharp. Okay, we've arrived at the most terrifying key of all, which is C sharp major. Now, C sharp major has F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, E sharp, and B sharp. So that's another one of those enharmonic equivalent things there. So between B and C, it's just a half step. So B sharp is technically the same thing as C. Let's see if we can get the notes to this guy. So you got C sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp. And then we have our B sharp, finally back to C sharp. There it is, the most terrifying key of all. And the relative minor here is A sharp. Don't make me get sharp with you. Now let's roll through the flat side of the circle real quick. As I stated before, now we're moving in fourths instead of fifths. So first up we've got F, which contains one flat, B flat. Notes are F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, back to F. F stands for relative minor is D minor, the saddest of all keys. Everybody knows that from Spinal Tap. Moving on, we got two flats. This is a fun key, the key of G minor or B flat major. So you got B flat and E flat. I love using like the G open strings when I'm playing in G minor. G open string, rather. Okay, so B flat major, you got B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, and A, back to B flat. Relative minor here is G minor. Don't overlook this key. Great for guitar. Okay, we're on to three flats now, which is E flat major. You got B flat, E flat, and A flat. And here's the notes. We've got, let's see, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, and then we're going to go D, back to E flat. Relative minor here is C minor. I always think of Holy Diver when I think of the key of C minor. Very uncommon to hear a rock or metal song in C minor. The question is, what does C stand for? Okay, 4 flats is A flat major. We've got B flat, E flat, A flat, and D flat. Pretty scary key for guitar. I don't like spending a lot of time here. The notes are A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, G, back to A flat. Relative minor is F. You know what F stands for. Like I said, you're not going to hear a lot of guitar-based songs in this key unless you listen to jazz. Then you're going to hear this all day long. Okay, here we go. D flat major, terrifying key. On guitar, we got B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. Also important to note that this key is enharmonically equivalent to C sharp major, which makes things even more confusing. Whoa. There we go. D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A flat, B flat, C, back to D flat. Relative minor is B flat minor. Let's just move on from that because that's just a horrible key. Okay, G flat major is next, and this is equivalent to F sharp major. So you got B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. Let's pound these notes out. G flat, A flat, B flat. Boy, I gotta write this out first. There we go. There. Okay, so the notes are G flat, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E flat, F, and back to G flat. Relative minor is E flat. Oh, do not ask me to play songs in that key. Okay, last key in the circle of fifths, and you've made music theory your bitch. So the last key is C flat major. And we just got all flats in this key. B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat, and F flat. This key is enharmonically equivalent to B major, actually, which is a much nicer key to play in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to think about B major as I write this out. I'm going to kind of cheat a little bit. You got C flat, D flat, E flat, F flat, G flat, A flat, B flat, and C flat. Relative minor here is A flat minor. So why is all this stuff important? Well, when you're listening to music or analyzing it or trying to play along with guitar or any other instrument, this really helps you make sense of what you're hearing and even predict what's going to come next. Incredibly useful tool. It's the most useful tool, I would say, when it comes to understanding music. Now, like I said, I'm going to leave a link to my music theory course down below. You can get that in the description. And that's going to run you through how to read music, intervals, chords, scales, of course, the key signatures, and a lot more. Now, if music theory is a topic that interests you, let me know what you would like to see me teach on next. Stay evil, my friends.